The departure. Ambassador Elena Reyes stood at the observation deck of Harmony Station, watching as another fleet of human ships detached from Earth's orbital docks. This marked the fifth wave of departures in 3 months. What had begun as a trickle was now a steady stream of colony ships, research vessels, and military escorts. "They're really going through with it," remarked Ambassador Jovex, the Altarian representative to the Galactic Alliance. His translucent appendages rippled with concern as he moved to stand beside Elena. "Did you expect anything else?" Elena asked, unable to hide the bitterness in her voice. 300 years of membership in your precious alliance. 3 centuries of sharing our technology, our art, our culture. 300 years of being treated as dangerous children who needed constant supervision. From their vantage point, Earth rotated silently below. You couldn't see the effects of the Alliance restrictions from here. The shuttered research facilities, the dismantled defense systems, the universities forbidden from pursuing fields deemed destabilizing to galactic harmony. Your species evolves too quickly, Jovex said softly. The pace of your advancement creates discomfort among the elder races. So you hobbled us, Elena replied. You put a ceiling on human potential. Did you really believe we would accept that forever? The final vote across human colonies had been nearly unanimous: withdrawal from the Galactic Alliance and self-imposed exile to regions beyond Alliance borders. They would forge their own path, build their own future free from the constraints imposed by races who measured progress in millennia rather than decades. The Council has authorized me to present a new compromise, Jovex began. Elena shook her head. It's too late for that. The decision is made. On her wrist communicator, a message flashed. Her own departure was scheduled for tomorrow. She would be among the last to leave, along with the remaining diplomatic staff. You don't understand what you're doing. Jovex's voice took on an urgent tone. There are threats beyond Alliance space that your people aren't prepared for. We'll take our chances, Elena said, turning away from the window. We always have. 5 years after the human exodus, Captain Maya Chen guided her scout ship through an unmapped star system, cataloging resources and potential colony sites. The ship's eye, which she called Nova, maintained constant scans for any signs of sentient life. No biosignatures detected on the 4th planet, Nova reported, but mineral readings suggest substantial deposits of rare earth elements and heavy metals. Mark it for the second wave, Maya said, making annotations on her holographic display. What about the asteroid belt? Analysis indicates. Nova paused, which was unusual for an AI. Maya, I'm detecting an anomalous signal. It doesn't match any known pattern in our database. Maya straightened in her chair. First contact protocols were clear, but humanity hadn't encountered any new spacefaring species since leaving Alliance space. Source: edge of the system, approaching from the galactic rim. She activated the ship's stealth systems, technology the Alliance had tried to restrict before the Exodus. Show me. The view screen shifted, zooming in on a distant object. It wasn't a ship, at least not like any she'd ever seen. It moved with purpose but had no visible propulsion. Its surface seemed to shift and flow, as if it weren't fully material. Nova, are you recording this? Yes. Transmitting data package to Fleet Command now. Maya watched as the object changed course, heading toward the system's inner planets, toward her. It's scanning us, Nova reported. Our stealth systems aren't effective against its detection methods. A chill ran down Maya's spine. Prepare for emergency jump. Before she could engage the drive, her communication system activated on its own. A sound filled the cabin. Not words, not music, but something between the two, modulating in patterns that made her head hurt. When it stopped, Nova said, I've analyzed the transmission. It appears to be a language, but unlike any in our records or the Alliance archives we brought with us. What did it say? I believe. Nova hesitated. I believe it was asking what we are. Maya took a deep breath. First contact was above her pay grade, but she seemed to have little choice in the matter. Open a channel. Nova. Protocol 7 states. I know the protocol, Nova, but we're a long way from home, and I don't think this visitor is going to wait for the diplomatic courts. She spoke clearly into the comm. This is Scout Ship Pathfinder representing the Human Confederation. We are explorers. We come in peace. The response came immediately. Another burst of that strange sonic language. But this time Nova was ready for it. Translation algorithms adapting, the AI reported. Approximate meaning. Humans outside protected space. Dangerous. Maya frowned. Ask them what they mean by protected space. After the exchange, Nova translated the response. The Alliance shields younger races from us. You have left their protection. You are vulnerable now. Admiral Jackson Reeves reviewed the footage from Captain Chen's encounter for the 5th time, his expression grave. Around the conference table sat the highest-ranking members of the Human Confederation military and scientific community. So these entities have been out there all along? Asked Dr. Sophia Patel, director of xenobiology. According to what they told Captain Chen, yes, Jackson replied. They call themselves the Drifters. They claim to exist primarily in what they call void space, some kind of dimension adjacent to our own. And the Galactic Alliance knows about them. This from General Marcus Hayes, who had been skeptical of the Exodus from the beginning. Jackson nodded. The Drifters say they've had an arrangement with the Alliance for millennia. They stay in the outer reaches, and the Alliance maintains a buffer zone of protected space. A buffer zone we voluntarily left, Sophia realized. Exactly. Jackson brought up a galactic map showing Alliance territory in blue and the growing Human Confederation in red. We thought we were walking away from restrictions. Instead, we were walking away from protection. Have there been any attacks? Marcus asked. Not yet. The Drifters seemed more curious than hostile, but Captain Chen's report indicates they were surprised to find us out here. They assumed any intelligent species would know better than to venture beyond Alliance borders without preparation. What kind of preparation? Sophia leaned forward. Jackson grimaced. They weren't specific, but they did transmit a set of coordinates where they said we could learn more. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. It could be a trap, Marcus pointed out. It could be, Jackson agreed. But if there's a genuine threat out here, one the Alliance has been shielding younger races from, we need to know what we're dealing with. Have we attempted to contact the Alliance about this? Asked Sophia. We sent a message, Jackson confirmed. Their response was minimal. They acknowledged the existence of the Drifters, but said that since we chose to leave Alliance protection, they have no obligation to share their defensive measures with us. Marcus slammed his fist on the table. Typical. Even now, they treat us like children. What about other non-Alliance species? Sophia suggested. There must be others who ventured beyond the borders. Jackson's expression darkened. According to the Drifters, there were. They didn't survive long. The Admiral stood, his decision made. I'm authorizing a mission to the coordinates provided by the Drifters. We need answers, and it seems the Alliance isn't going to give them to us. The research vessel Horizon dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the coordinates provided by the Drifters. Captain Elijah Winters felt his stomach lurch, not from the transition to normal space, but from what he saw through the viewscreen. A graveyard of ships stretched before them, thousands of vessels of different designs and apparent ages, all drifting in silent formation around a small, unremarkable moon. My God, whispered Dr. Aisha Khan, the expedition's chief scientist. Some of these ships, they don't match any known design, Alliance or otherwise, reported Science Officer Daniel Lee. Many appear to be ancient. Initial readings suggest some have been here for over 30,000 years. Elijah ordered a full scan of the area. Any signs of the Drifters? No, Captain, Daniel replied. But I'm detecting an artificial structure on the moon's surface. It appears to be generating a low-level signal, Probably what's keeping all these ships in orbit. Life signs. None, Captain. Elijah studied the graveyard. The ships showed varying degrees of damage. Some looked almost intact, while others were little more than fragments. But all had one thing in common. They were empty. "Prepare a shuttle," he ordered. "Dr. Khan, you're with me. Lieutenant Lee, maintain position, and be ready for immediate extraction if anything goes wrong." The shuttle journey to the moon's surface was tense and silent. As they approached the structure, a smooth dome-like building that reflected their shuttle's lights with an oily sheen, Aisha finally spoke. "Captain, I've been analyzing the ship designs. Many of them show evidence of rapid technological advancement. Jury-rigged systems, retrofitted components, like they were desperately upgrading their capabilities." "Preparing for war?" Elijah suggested. Aisha shook her head. "Not just war. Extinction." The shuttle landed near the dome's single visible entrance. Suited up in their environmental gear, Elijah, Aisha, and 2 security officers stepped onto the airless surface. "The structure appears to be some kind of archive," Aisha said, studying her handheld scanner. "I'm detecting massive data storage systems inside." The entrance opened as they approached, revealing a softly lit corridor. Elijah hesitated, then stepped forward. "Stay alert." Inside, they found not a single large room as expected, but a series of chambers, each containing holographic displays that activated as they entered. The images showed different species, some vaguely humanoid, others utterly alien, and scenes of worlds being transformed in disturbing ways. "It's a warning," Aisha realized as she interfaced her translator with the archive systems. "Each chamber documents the fate of a species that ventured beyond Alliance space without proper defenses." "Against the drifters?" Elijah asked. "No," Aisha's voice had gone quiet. "According to this, the drifters are messengers, not predators. They're trying to warn us about something else." In the central chamber, they found their answer. A massive hologram display of a galaxy-scale map with pulsing red areas spreading like a disease from the outer rim inward. The Alliance territory was surrounded by a shimmering barrier that held the red at bay. "What is it?" Elijah asked. Aisha's face had gone pale behind her helmet visor. "They're called the Harvesters. They don't invade. They transform. They convert matter, planets, ships, people, into more of themselves. And according to this archive, they've been consuming their way through the galaxy for millions of years. But the Alliance has found a way to keep them out." "Yes." Aisha scrolled through the translated data. "Some kind of energy field that disrupts their ability to transform matter. The Alliance maintains a network of field generators along their borders, a shield not just for themselves, but for all the species under their protection." Elijah felt cold, a protection we walked away from. "It's worse than that, Captain." Aisha looked up from her scanner, her expression grim. "The archive says the Harvesters are drawn to technological advancement, especially the kind of rapid innovation that humans are known for. The Alliance wasn't restricting our development to hold us back. They were trying to keep us from attracting attention." The return. 10 years had passed since humanity's exodus from the Galactic Alliance. In that time, the Human Confederation had expanded to 37 star systems, establishing colonies and research outposts in previously uncharted space. But it was not an expansion driven by the joy of discovery. It was a calculated spread driven by necessity and the knowledge of what lurked beyond the edge of known space. In a secure facility orbiting Proxima Centauri, Director Elena Reyes, formerly Ambassador Reyes, stood before the Confederation Security Council. The room was tense as she presented the latest intelligence. "The Harvester front has advanced another 3 light-years toward our outermost colonies," she reported, highlighting an area on the holographic display. "Our deep space monitoring stations are detecting increasing void space disturbances consistent with Harvester activity." "How long do we have?" asked President Omar Washington, his face grim. "Based on current projections, 2 years at most before they reach New Horizon." perhaps 5 before they approach Earth. The council chamber erupted in worried murmurs. Admiral Jackson Reeves raised his hand, silencing the room. "The Barrier Project?" he asked. Dr. Sophia Patel, now heading the Confederation's Advanced Technologies Division, stepped forward. "We've made progress, but we're still years away from replicating the Alliance's defensive field. The physics involved, it's beyond anything we've encountered. We've had to develop entirely new branches of science just to understand the basic principles." President Washington leaned forward. "And the drifters? They've provided what assistance they can," Elena replied. "But their knowledge of the barrier technology is limited. They've served as warners for millennia, not defenders." The president's face hardened with resolve. "Then we have no choice. We must contact the Alliance." "We warned," Whisper corrected. "They listened. They learned. They created." Fleet Commander Oxer leaned forward. "And what do you want in exchange for this technology? Surely you haven't developed this salvation out of generosity for those who constrained you." Elena smiled thinly. "Actually, Commander, that's exactly why we developed it. Because despite your paternalistic approach to our species, we understand that the harvesters are a threat to all sentient life. We have 2 conditions." "Name them," Jovex said. "First, a complete restructuring of the Alliance governing principles. No more elder races dictating to younger ones. Equal representation, equal voice." Tilara began to object, but Jovex silenced her with a gesture. "And the second, recognition that different species progress at different rates, and that diversity of approach is not a threat, but an asset. No more technological restrictions based on arbitrary timelines." The Alliance representatives exchanged glances. What the humans proposed would upend 12,000 years of galactic governance. "The harvesters are proof that your current approach has failed," Admiral Reeves added. "Containment was never going to work forever. Innovation and adaptation are the only sustainable defenses." Jovex was silent for a long moment. Then, with a gesture that signified profound respect in Altarian culture, he lowered all 4 of his appendages. "We were wrong," he admitted, "about many things. The Alliance has grown stagnant in its certainty, while in just 10 years of freedom, humanity has discovered what we could not in millennia." He straightened. "I will advocate for your conditions to the Grand Council. I believe they will be accepted." Elena nodded. "Then we have an accord. Dr. Patel will begin sharing the Nexus Protocol specifications immediately." As the technical teams from both delegations began their work, Elena moved to the viewport, gazing out at the stars. Jovex joined her. "You knew this day would come," he said. "It wasn't a question." "Not specifically," Elena replied. "But we knew that somewhere out there, we would find something that neither humans nor the Alliance could face alone. That's the nature of the universe. It always has greater challenges waiting. And greater opportunities," Jovex added. "Perhaps together, we can embrace both." In the reflection of the viewport, they could see humans and Alliance species working side by side, already finding common purpose in the face of a shared threat. It was just the beginning of a new relationship, one of equals rather than guardians and wards. The galaxy was changing. The harvesters were coming. But for the first time, Elena felt not just determination but hope. Because sometimes you have to walk away to find your true path. And sometimes those you leave behind must face their own failures before a new beginning can emerge. Human and alien, they would face the darkness together, as equals.